إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار والفلك التي تجري في البحر بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Surely in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of the night and day, and the ships that sail upon the ocean, laden with what benefits mankind, and in what Allah sends down of the water from the heavens and revives the earth with it after its death, and that Allah has scattered on the earth all sorts of moving creatures, and in the veering of the winds, and in the clouds subjugated for service between the heavens and the earth. Indeed, in these are signs for people who have intelligence, who understand, who reflect. We are reading verse number 164 of Surah Baqarah. In the previous verse, 163, there was the claim, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرَّحِيمُ. Your God is but one God. There is no deity besides Him. He is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That was the claim, and now is the evidence to prove that claim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some signs of His qudrat for people who have aqal, intelligence, understanding, wisdom, intellect. First, we need to understand the cause of revelation of this verse. In Tafseer Durrul Manthur, volume 1, page 163, and in Anwarul Bayan, volume 1, 314, it is stated that when the above verse, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ, was revealed, the mushrikeen of Makkah were surprised that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam claimed that there is only one God. How can one God, one deity do everything? We should have multiple deities and gods to do multiple tasks. They requested proof of this claim, upon which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this verse, Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard. It shows Allah's authority of being the creator, the owner, the sustainer, the one who originated and established everything, the one who has supreme control over all His affairs. The mushrikeen also recognized that none other than Allah possessed this supreme control. So there could be no option for them but to accept Allah alone as their God. Ata ibn Abi Rabah said, when وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ was revealed, the kuffar of Makkah wondered how everyone's Rabb could be one. Upon this, Allah revealed this verse. Mushrikeen used to say, أَجَعَلَ الْآلِهَةَ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدًا إِنَّ هَذَا لَشَيْءٌ عُجَابٌ. Has Muhammad made all deities into one deity? This is a strange thing. Surah Sad, verse number 5. Now, this claim itself is something absurd. What is wrong with having one deity, one ilah, one existence, one creator? What is surprising? What is amazing in there? Tafsir Anwarul Bayan says a strange phenomenon of the world is that when something becomes a trend, then no matter how erroneous and evil it may be, people consider it to be a good thing. It is incumbent upon every human being to worship Allah and no other. This is the religion of man which was preached and practiced by our great great grandfather Sayyiduna Adam ala Nabiyina wa alayhi salam and all the prophets. Shirk started long after many decades, centuries, in fact millennium after Sayyiduna Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Then people become accustomed to shirk. So now they think that Tawheed is surprising, shirk is original. This is what happens around the world. You speak the lie so much that truth becomes oblivious and lie overpowers everything and people start believing in the lie. So this is how shirk prevailed and people were surprised at having one ilah, one God. And they asked for proof of Tawheed and oneness of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them 8 proofs over here. The first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard, creation of the heavens and the earth. Even the mushrikeen, when asked about who created the heavens and the earth, your gods, Lat, Uzza, Manat, Hubal, they said, no. Heavens and the earth was created by Allah. Allah says in Surah Zumar, verse number 38, وَلَئِن سَأَلْتَهُم مَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. If you ask them who created the heavens and the earth, they will say Allah created them. In Surah Al-Ahqaf, verse number 4, Allah said, قُلْ أَفَرَأَيْتُم مَّا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَرُونِي مَاذَا خَلَقُوا مِنَ الْأَرْضِ أَمْ لَهُمْ شِرْكٌ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ. Say, O Muhammad, do you see these gods whom you worship besides Allah? Show me what have they created on the earth. Or do they have any partnership in the heavens? This means they also had no share, no partnership. They knew Allah alone created the heavens and the earth. Tafsir Khazin states, over here Allah said, Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard. Samawat is plural of sama'un and ard is singular of arduna. So samawat is plural, ard is singular. He writes because the heavens and the skies are one above the other in various layers. So the 7 separate, they are mentioned separately. One hadith says that between one heaven and the other there is a gap of 500 years. So because they are separate and every heaven and sky is laden with malaika worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So samawat, 7 skies, one above the other, are mentioned. And ard is singular because ard is from one jins. There are 7 lands, but 7 earths, but they are all joined, connected. Like the onion skin is joined, connected with one another. You peel them off. So the 7 earths which Allah mentioned, they are joined together. So they look like one. That's why Allah brought al-ard as singular. Then the sign in the heavens is how high Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it. If Allah wished, He could have kept it low, but low ceilings cause suffocation. Allah made it high so there is no suffocation. People can live with ease. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is holding on to the heavens with His power without any pillar. خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ تَرَوْنَهَا. There is no, can you see a pillar? There is no pillar. Allah is holding the sky with His powers. In fact, Allah said, do you see the birds which fly? Massive eagles and falcons and vultures, so heavy, and wings are so widespread. Who holds them between the heavens and the earth when they are flying? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught them how to fly, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. So the heavens are also large, massive, laden with malaika. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. And then Allah said in Surah Al-Mulk, Farji'il basar, hal tara min futur. Look at the skies. Can you see any cracks in there? Summarji'il basar karratain. Look at it time and again. You won't see any cracks in there. Any building on the earth after a few years or decades, it, it's ready for demolish. 100 years, 200, 300 years, now is gone. You have to demolish, make something else. Allah's sky is such, there is no cracks in there. And then Allah placed the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets. Allah made the sky so beautiful. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. These are like floodlights which beautify the heaven. The sky is made so beautiful. It's not dull. It's really fascinating. People who study the sky at night are really fascinated at the wonderful manner in which the sky is created, and how the planets and the stars are assembled, and how they rotate, and how they don't have any accidents or mishaps. This is the wonder of the sky which Allah has created. And the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spread it out. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the earth on water. There was water, and first place to spring up like a bubble or on the water was that place where Kaaba Sharif is. And from there, Allah spread the earth around. Now, the earth was shaking, and in order to stabilize it, Allah placed mountains on it. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the earth so beautiful. Allah made the soil not hard like steel and metal, that we can't plow in it, farm in it, plant in it, sow seeds in it. Allah didn't make it so soft like quicksand that we sink in it. No, Allah made it medium, not very hard, not very soft. We can survive on it. We can plant and sow seeds and farm in it. You can build houses and buildings on it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the earth, the mountains, and then whatever Allah spread on it in the form of trees and fruits and plants and farmlands and whatever Allah created on it. So this is mentioned in Surah Nuh. أَلَمْ تَرَوْا كَيْفَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ طِبَاقًا وَجَعَلَ الْقَمَرَ فِيهِنَّ نُورًا وَجَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ سِرَاجًا وَاللَّهُ أَنبَتَكُم مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ نَبَاتًا ثُمَّ يُعِيدُكُم فِيهَا وَيُخْرِجُكُم إِخْرَاجًا وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ بِسَاطًا لِتَسْلُكُوا مِنْهَا سُبُلًا فِجَاجًا. Allah made the roads in there so you can travel from one place to the other. So this is the first sign of Allah spreading, creating the heavens, creating everything that is up there, creating the earth, spreading it out, making the mountains, the rivers, the oceans, and creating in the earth various mines in which you get gold and silver and copper, and then creating the jewels and the pearls, and then creating the trees with fruits and flowers and vegetables and whatever we need for survival. Allah created everything. This is inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard. The first sign you can see of Qudrat of Allah, power of Allah, existence of Allah, oneness of Allah is in the creation of the heavens and the earth. And sound minded people will know that this thing cannot come into existence by chance. It's not an accident. It didn't happen on its own without any maker. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, He is the maker, He is the one who gave the shape and form to everything in the heavens and in the earth. Then, number two, وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ, and in the alternation of the day and night. The second sign Allah mentions is the alternation of the night and the day. Sometimes night is long, day is short, and then it reverses like it's happening now. The day is getting longer and nights are getting shorter. We need darkness and we need light. Allah said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارِ. Among His signs are the night and the day. Allah said, قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمُ اللَّيْلَ سَرْمَدًا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. If Allah made it night 24 hours until the day of Qiyamah, no sunlight. مَنْ إِلَهٌ غَيْرُ اللَّهِ يَأْتِيكُمْ بِضِيَاءٍ. Which God is there besides Allah who can bring you roshni and light? أَفَلَا تَسْمَعُونَ. Do you not hear? قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمُ النَّهَارَ سَرْمَدًا إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. If Allah made roshni and light 24 hours until the day of Qiyamah, no night, no darkness. مَنْ إِلَهٌ غَيْرُ اللَّهِ يَأْتِيكُمْ بِلَيْلٍ تَسْكُنُونَ فِيهِ. Is there any God besides Allah who can bring you the darkness of the night in which you can rest and sleep and get some sukoon and aram? أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. وَمِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ جَعَلَ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ لِتَسْكُنُوا فِيهِ وَلِتَبْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. It is out of His mercy that He made the night and the day, so that you may seek your provisions and livelihood during the day and rest and get some rahat and sukoon and aram during the night, and so that you may do shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, night and day are also signs of Allah's Qudrat. In Surah Al-Furqan, verse number 62, Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ خِلْفَةً لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يَذَّكَّرَ أَوْ أَرَادَ الشُّكُورَ. He made the night alternate, come one after the other, for those people who want to reflect, take heed, and who want to do shukr of Allah for creating the day and for creating the night. Allah said in Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 5, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ يُكَوِّرُ اللَّيْلَ عَلَى النَّهَارِ وَيُكَوِّرُ النَّهَارَ عَلَى اللَّيْلِ. He created the heavens and the earth with perfection. He folds the night onto the day and folds the day onto the night. He made the sun and moon bow in submission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Fatir, verse number 13, يُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَيُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ يَجْرِي لِأَجَلٍ مُّسَمًّى ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ وَالَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ مَا يَمْلِكُونَ مِن قِطْمِيرٍ. He enters the night into the day and the day into the night. He has made the sun and moon subservient. Each one of them travels up to the fixed hour. This is Allah, your sustainer, to whom belongs all sovereignty. As for those whom you worship besides Allah, they do not even own the skin of a date pit. खजूर की गुठली पर जो स्किन होती उसके भी वो मालिक नहीं है, आसमान जमीन के तो क्या मालिक बनेंगे. So the increase and decrease in the duration of the night and its variation with place and time, in some places, sometime, other places, other times, are all parts of Allah's divine system. Every intelligent person understands that none other has any say in these matters. This is the second sign. Then Allah says, number 3, وَالْفُلْكِ الَّتِي تَجْرِي فِي الْبَحْرِ بِمَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ. The massive ships which traverse the oceans, carrying goods of benefit to man. The third sign Allah mentions here is the massive ships. Al-Fulk is Mufrad and Jama' both, Muzakkar and Muannas both. So over here Allah said, Wal fulki lati tajri. So fulk here is Muannas. And in id abaqa ila al fulki al mashhun, it's Muzakkar, masculine. And in hatta idha kuntum fil fulki wa jarayna bihim, it's plural. So the word fulk is used in all ways without any change. It's one of the rare words which can be muzakkar and muannas and plural with the same wordings without any changes. Allati tajri fil bahri. Bahr means ocean. It's called bahr because it's vast and is spread out. And something that is vast and spread out is called bahr. Like bahrul ilm. Someone who has lots of knowledge is called an ocean of knowledge because his ilm is widespread and he covers many, many topics. So, wal fulki allati tajri fil bahri, the ships which sail into the lands. Now imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created those materials by which we can make the ship and gave us that intelligence to make those ships. The first ship was made by Sayyiduna Nuh alayhi salam. When the flood was coming, Allah told him to build the ship. Allah inspired him. Allah did ilham to him how to make the ship. And through that ilham, he made the first ship. Now that ship, after that, ships, massive ships with hundreds of thousands of tons of goods. Now imagine, even one needle cannot float on the surface of water. But this ship is not sinking, is floating, and it's traveling from one place to the other. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such because the earths were not joined, they were separate. So we need to transport one goods from one place to another place, and that can only happen through ships because oceans are also needed, water is also needed, land is also needed. Now you need something to transport goods from one place to the other. Allah made the ships so that goods can be transported from Europe to Asia, from America to Australia by way of ships. In spite of extensive use of aeroplanes and railways, man cannot do without the service of ships. So Allah made those ships. He gave you that material and that idea and intellect to make those ships. Allah says in Surah An-Nahl, وَتَرَى الْفُلْكَ مَوَاخِرَ فِيهِ وَلِتَبْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. You see the ships cleaving their way through the ocean, that you may earn from the bounty of Allah and that you may show gratitude. Then who offers the protection to the ship and those riding on the ship and the goods that are laden on the ship? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why when a ship is surrounded by massive storms which are like mountains, Allah said, وَهِيَ تَجْرِي بِهِمْ فِي مَوْجٍ كَالْجِبَالِ. The ship was sailing with Nuh alayhi salam and those who were on board in waves which were like mountains. So the flood was so huge, the water was rising, and it went up to the levels of mountains. And the mawj and the waves were like mountains. And Allah was protecting that ship in those waves which were like mountains. And now as well, who protects those ships? If you see some of those videos in which the ship is sailing and the water is coming, and you see the photo of that wave, it's like a mountain in front of the ship. So who protects them? Allah protects. This is why Allah says in Surah Al-Ankabut, فَإِذَا رَكِبُوا فِي الْفُلْكِ دَعَوُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ إِذَا هُمْ يُشْرِكُونَ. In another place, حَتَّى إِذَا كُنْتُمْ فِي الْفُلْكِ وَجَرَيْنَ بِهِمْ بِرِيحٍ طَيِّبَةٍ وَفَرِحُوا بِهَا جاءتها ريح عاصف وجاءهم الموج من كل مكان وظنوا أنهم أحيط بهم دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم إلى البر إذا هم يشركون. When they are sailing on the ships, the winds are beautiful and pleasant, and the ship is sailing smoothly. Suddenly, storm comes, hurricane comes, and the ship is surrounded by waves upon waves, and they are scared, terrified. The water is going to come in the ship and is going to sink any moment now. So at that moment, they cry out to Allah, "Oh God, save us! Oh God, save us! Oh God, save us!" They forget all those idols and Buts and Lat and Uzzas and Manat and Hubal and everyone. They call upon God alone. And oh Allah, save us! Oh Allah, save us! And when Allah does save them, they go back to the land and they start committing shirk again. So there are signs in the ships which Allah has made, laden with goods and traversing through and cleaving through the oceans at, at huge speed. So Allah said this is the third sign. Number 3, Allah said, Bima yanfa'un nas. Number 4, Bima yanfa'un nas, carrying that which benefits people. Because Allah wants man to live comfortably. And we need things. Like we are on an island in the United Kingdom. And we need everything over here. Not only rice and wheat and atta and everything of food, and also our own sabzi and bhaji and bhindi and gajar and muli and dhania and everything. But also we need woods which come from Indonesia, massive forests, and the wood comes from there. Ask those who are, working in B&Q and here and there. When the tsunami came in 2014, the wood was really expensive. And now as well, Ukraine war is blamed for everything, as though everything comes from Ukraine. Petrol from there as well, metal from there as well, and woods from there as well. Everything is blamed on Ukraine. Oil as well. Sunflower oil price gone up because of Ukraine war. This price because of you. This, अरे भाई सब कुछ यूक्रेन से ही आता है और कहीं से कुछ आता ही नहीं है. कुछ न कुछ शरारत है नालायकों के पीछे. तो ये अल्लाह पाक बिमा यनफाउन नास, तुम्हारी, He wants to make your lives on the earth easy for you. That's why He made those ships, so you can import and export goods from one place to the other. Qurtubi said, as I mentioned before, the first person who made ship was Nuh alayhi salam. It's in Tafseer of Qurtubi. Qurtubi also says this ayat is the dalil that one can ride on the ocean in ships for his necessities and needs, whatever the needs are. For tijarat and business, yes, you can move, from one place to the other. Also for ibadat, like Hajj and Jihad, and also for other needs like talabul ilm, visiting relatives, parents, family members in the other country. So going from one place to the other. One thing which is which should be avoided is traveling in ships on the oceans for just show and fun. People going on ship cruise for weeks, around the world. Now, these cruise ships, it's not necessity. What is allowed is due for necessity. But without necessity, one hadith says, لا تركب البحر إلا حاجا أو معتمرا أو غازيا فإن تحت البحر نارا وتحت النار بحرا. Don't ride on the ocean except if you were to go in a ghazwa, jihad fi sabilillah, or in Hajj or in Umrah. Because underneath the ocean there is fire, and under the fire there is ocean. Subhanallah. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said this 1400 years ago. And now when oil comes, that's fire. One matchstick and the whole oil rig is on fire. And we've seen some videos where there is fire in the ocean. Water and fire are both together. This shows that there is fire under the ocean. Huzur said this 1400 years ago, that under the oceans there is fire. فَإِنَّ تَحْتَ الْبَحْرِ نَارًا. So Huzur said, don't ride on the ships unless it's necessary. Now, I'm not saying that going on cruise ships for holidays is haram, but at least it'll be makruh. Try and avoid it. Don't go unless it's extremely necessary. Fly. Plane is more secure, safer. So you can fly for holidays wherever you want to go. But cruise ships, staying on the ocean for 2 weeks, these things should be avoided. Anyhow, this is wal fulki allati tajri fil bahr and bima yanfa'un nas, taking that which benefits people. And then number 5, وَمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِمَّا, the water which Allah showers from the heavens, reviving the earth after its death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates that He created water, He created the system of rainwater, which benefits millions of people and billions of animals, plants and trees, who receive their nourishment from the rain without exhausting its supply. Sweet, clean water descends from the sky, by the means of which plantations, orchards, gardens flourish. Dry, barren land is revived. Dams are filled, and man and animals benefit from the rainwater for many, many months. Many areas are such that they have no source of water except the rain, since their wells have either too little water or they are too deep. The rainwater has to be used for drinking, washing clothes, as well as for watering fields. The people of these areas remain in eager anticipation for rain. When the rains do arrive, they all seem to come to life. Even those areas which depend on fresh water and rivers for irrigation are indebted to the rainfall. This is because rainwater falls upon mountains, freezes, and melts to form rivers. Now, River Nile is the largest river on earth. It goes over 2,500 kilometers, if I believe correctly. And it starts from somewhere up Sudan, goes through the whole country, and then through Egypt and down. But the water comes from where Allah knows. If rainwater falls on the mountains and then it comes into the rivers, it forms a river, and the river passes by, and everybody is benefiting from that sweet river water. Now, you can't irrigate with ocean water because it's salty. You can't drink ocean water. You can't use it for farming. You need sweet water for farming. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the rainwater so that you can drink it, you can use it, you can irrigate with it, water the fields with it. Is وَمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِن مَّاءٍ, the rainwater. And now science will tell us how clouds are formed, how steam goes up and then it forms the clouds, and then the clouds move from one area to another. Who moves those clouds from one area to the other? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then He lets water rain down wherever He wants to. We read the story in Behishti Zevar. It's from Sahih Bukhari, that a man was going somewhere and he heard from the clouds some voice saying, "Go and rain down on such and such a person's bagh and farmland." So the clouds immediately rushed and they started raining down. This man followed the cloud, went over there. He saw this person, turning the water around, making streams, taking it from one area to the other, saving it. So he kept on looking. When he finished, he asked him, "Ya Abdullah," by his name, whatever his name was, "tell me, what is your neki and good deed? Why, what is that I hear your name in the skies?" And the person said, "If you hadn't said my name, I wouldn't have told you. But you are a stranger and you know my name. That's surprising. What it is that whatever produce comes out of this land, I make 3 parts of it. 1 part to use for myself and my family, and 1 part to give out to the poor and the needy, and a 3rd part for the following year, because you need to plant and you need to buy seeds, etc. So I need one plant for next year. Now, Ushur and Zakat in the produce of land is only 1/10 if uh, it is watered by rainwater. And if it is watered by well water and more effort is done, then only 1/5, 95% yours. Otherwise, 10% is yours. Sorry, 5%, 95% is yours. But uh, or if it was rain water, then 90% is yours, 10% for Gharib. But he used to give 33%. So because of his generosity and kindness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was looking after him. This reminds me of Hazrat Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. Once his secretary came to him and he said, we've done everything, farming, sowing seeds, but rain is not coming down. It's drought. We need rainwater. And rain is delayed. If rain in hot countries, if it is delayed by a week or two, it's bad. If it is delayed by a month, then gone. Sab parishan, now ummeed har jate hain, there's no hope. So he said, rain is delayed, it's not coming down. Other Anas said, is that so? Yes. Okay, put my musalla in the bagh, orchard and the farm. I'm coming. He performs wuzu. He goes there. He starts performing nawafil after nawafil, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, keeps praying namaz, and then he makes dua, salatul hajat. Oh Allah, please, we need rain, send it down. Immediately, clouds come and it starts heavy rainfall, and the whole area is showered with water. And when rain comes, it's very relaxing, soothing. All the heat is taken away and everything cools down. Hazrat Anas said, go and see where has it rained. And he went and checked. The rain had fallen on the land of Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu. That was his karamat. It was only on his land. Because of his dua, Allah wanted to show him, because he was Khadimul Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In one place he said, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam wafat, there's not been a night in which I haven't seen him in my dream because of his khidmat. So Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu, so rainwater is sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this in Surah Shura, verse number 28. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثَ مِن بَعْدِ مَا قَنَطُوا وَيَنْشُرُ رَحْمَتَهُ وَهُوَ الْوَلِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. It is He who sends the rains after people have become despondent. He spreads His mercy. He is the patron. He is the one worthy of praise. In another place, Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنَّكَ تَرَى الْأَرْضَ خَاشِعَةً فَإِذَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهَا الْمَاءَ اهْتَزَّتْ وَرَبَتْ إِنَّ الَّذِي أَحْيَاهَا لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى إِنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Surah Hamim Sajda, verse number 39, 24th para. Allah says, among His signs is that you see the earth lying dead and barren, dry. Then when we send the rains down, it begins sprouting and flourishing. Verily, the one who had given life to the earth will breathe life back into the dead. Definitely, He is capable of all things. Just as the dry earth was brought back to life, the dead people will be brought out of their graves as well. In another place, Surah Rum, verse 50, Allah said, فَانظُرْ إِلَىٰ آثَارِ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ كَيْفَ يُحْيِي الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. So look at the signs of Allah's mercy and how He revives the earth after its death. Undoubtedly, He gives life to the dead and He has the power over everything. So, this is the fifth sign Allah mentioned. وَمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِن مَّاءٍ فَأَحْيَا بِهِ الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا. He breathed life into the earth after the earth was dead. In Surah Yasin, what do we read? وَآيَةٌ لَهُمُ الْأَرْضُ الْمَيْتَةُ أَحْيَيْنَاهَا وَأَخْرَجْنَا مِنْهَا حَبًّا فَمِنْهُ يَأْكُلُونَ وَجَعَلْنَا فِيهَا جَنَّاتٍ من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون لِيَأْكُلُوا مِنْ ثَمَرِهِ وَمَا عَمِلَتْهُ أَيْدِيهِمْ أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. So that dry earth coming back to life is a sign of Allah's qudrat and power. Number 6, Allah goes on to say, وَبَثَّ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ دَابَّةٍ, and that Allah has scattered on the earth every type of creature. Dabba is from dabba yadubbu dabban, which means to move. So dabbatul ard means ma yadubbu ala al-ardi. Anything, any creature, any living creature that moves on the earth is called dabba. Insan is also dabba because we move, we walk around. And then Allah said, Wallahu khalaqa kulla dabbatin mimma. فمنهم من يمشي على بطنه ومنهم من يمشي على رجلين ومنهم من يمشي على أربع يخلق الله ما يشاء إن الله على كل شيء قدير. Allah created every living creature from water. Some move on their bellies, snakes and reptiles, and some move on 2 legs, man, chicken, and some on 4 legs, the other creatures. يَخْلُقُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. Allah creates whatever He wills. So dabba is for all creatures. All creatures Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made. And then those creatures have various forms, large, medium, small, and shakal, surat, colors. And in human beings, we have different languages, different tabiyyat and nature, different akhlaq and awsaf, characteristics. Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anhu said, just look at this face, how small it is in diameter, but 2 people do not match. Even the twins will have little bit of difference in there which people can't recognize, but the parents can recognize. Because if Allah had made everybody same like pigeons, then what would happen? Police would have a hard time catching criminals. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everyone different. Even in this small space, Allah made so many differences. Every person is different. So, all the creatures, large and small, which Allah spread around the earth, are a sign of Allah's qudrat. Hazrat writes over here, this sentence, Hazrat says that everything which walks upon the earth, and dabba refers to them, is not generally used for large animals such as cows, buffaloes, camels, etc. These creatures of all types and species are among the signs of Allah. Allah has created them in huge numbers, varying in type, temperament, form, and characteristics. Allah has made man dominant over all of them. Should a person sit back and ponder about the characteristics of each creature, countless expressions of Allah's greatness come to the mind. So, this is the 6th sign of Allah's qudrat. Number 7, وَتَصْرِيفِ الرِّيَاحِ, and the blowing of the winds in all directions. Winds are also a sign of Allah's qudrat and His power. He causes the winds to blow in various directions, sometimes even changing the course of winds in the opposite direction. As Allah desires, He causes the winds to blow and He controls their speed. He can do whatever He wants. Sometimes the winds are cool breezes which remove the heat of the environment, and other times they are heavy, strong. Sometimes they come in the form of hurricanes. Sometimes they come in the form of punishment, azab, like it happened with the Qawm Ad. فأما ثمود فأهلكوا بالطاغية وأما عاد فأهلكوا بريح صرصر عاتية سخرها عليهم 7 ليال و8 أيام حسوما فترى القوم فيها صرعى كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية فهل ترى لهم من باقية. Allahu Akbar. Allah mentions the azab which came on Qawm Ad, who used to have lifespan of 250, 300 years life. And they never got headaches, they never got tummy ache, they never got fever, they never fell ill. Strong as ox and massive. They were very tall, like Quran said, like date palm trees. Date trees are very tall. So they were like tall like the date trees and very strong. But when they rebelled against Allah, kufr, shirk, continuous denial, and abusing, insulting a great prophet of Allah, Sayyiduna Hud, alayhi salatu wassalam, Nabiyyina wa alayhi salatu wassalam, Allah's azab came upon them. And with this wind, Allah destroyed them. Sarsarin atiya. Sarsar. Sarsar means chilly. Chilly wind. Surr, surr, surr. That noise comes, is called sarsar. Bidihin sarsarin. And atiya. Atiya means which went out of control. Sarkash. Out of the control of the malaika. Allah made it such that even the malaika could not control it. Sarsarin atiya, out of control. Sakharaha alayhim 7 ليال و8 أيام. It didn't come for a little while. 7 continuous days and 8 nights. 7 nights and 8 days. Husuman, wipe them out. Fatara al-qawma fiha sar'a. And at the end of that azab, they were all lying dead. كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية فهل ترى لهم من باقية. Do you see any remaining from Qawm Ad? No remainders. The whole Qawm was annihilated. So winds are a huge creation of Allah. In spite of the fact that we can't see the wind. Can you see the wind? Can you measure the wind? Can you hold the wind? No. But it's such a strong force of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're walking outside, your topi blows away. Some buddhis blow away. Your umbrellas blow away. Sometimes it's heavy, then the roofs blow away. Cars and massive trucks blow away. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created these winds. Sometimes they bring good news, basharat of rain. Because before rain, cool breeze comes. So people realize that rain is coming. Yesterday we were in Batley on Sunday with Maulana Ismail Aswad Sahab, and he has bees and he makes honey. And he says, Maulana Sahab, you can tell the weather from the bees. We open their shaft for them to get out, and we see that outside, it's nice weather, sunshine, but the bees don't come out. Then at 11, 12 o'clock, it starts raining. So the bees can understand the weather. Sometimes we think it's really dull outside, but the bees come out and they start going and, going around eating from the fruits and flowers. And at 11, 12 o'clock, it is sunshine. So they understand the weather from, the winds and the blowing of the winds and the weather, whatever. They are more accurate than the weatherman on BBC. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls these winds, and Allah says in Surah Rum, verse number 46, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَن يُرْسِلَ الرِّيَاحَ مُبَشِّرَاتٍ وَلِيُذِيقَكُم مِّن رَّحْمَتِهِ وَلِتَجْرِيَ الْفُلْكُ بِأَمْرِهِ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Among his signs is that he sends the winds as carriers of good news, and so that he may allow you to taste his mercy, and so that ships sail by his order for you to gain from his bounty, and so that you may show shukr and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Nusirtu bis sabah wa uhlikat adun bid dubur. I was assisted and aided by way of Sabah, and Qawm Ad were destroyed by way of Dabur. Eastern or northern wind is called Sabah, which is cool, soothing. and the one which comes from the southern side is called Dabur, if I'm reading correctly, or the east-west. So Sabah is the cool wind, Bade Sabah. So it brought help for Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the battle of trenches, Khandaq. It helped Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But Qawm Ad were destroyed by Dabur. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that when the wind blows, don't say anything bad, don't curse it. Some people curse the wind. He said, don't curse that. It blows with Allah's hukam. So cursing it is like Nauzubillah cursing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, when the wind blows, make dua. What dua? Allahumma inni as'aluka khayraha wa khayra ma fiha wa khayra ma ursilat bihi. Wa na'udhu bika min sharriha wa sharri ma fiha wa sharri ma ursilat bihi. Allahumma inna nas'aluka. Oh Allah, we ask you the good of this wind and the good which is in it and the good with which it's sent. And we seek your protection from the evil of the wind and the evil that is in it and the evil with which it is sent. You will read this dua and you will be protected. This is the dua which we need to make. When Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam would see some wind blowing, he would be really scared. And he would go out, come in, back and forth, pace, his color would change, worried. Hazrat Aisha noticed this. And she said, Ya Rasulullah, why does this happen to you when wind starts blowing? And he said, Aisha, I get scared. It could be like what happened to Qawm Ad. You know, إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمُ الرِّيحَ الْعَقِيمِ رِيحٌ فِيهَا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. So until it rained, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was scared. When it rained, then he calmed down. He said, they thought that wind and the clouds have brought some rahat and ni'mat, but that wind brought azab upon them. So I get scared. Allah's azab na aa jaye kabhi. Ajib. Dekhiye Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so much taqwa and khawf and fear in his heart in spite of being Rasulullah. That he is scared. A little bit, slightest thing scares him. So, وَتَصْرِيفِ الرِّيَاحِ, Allah controls the hawa and the wind. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, wind is the largest army of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ibn Kathir narrates, جِسْمٌ لَطِيفٌ لَا يُمْسِكُ وَلَا يُرَى وَهِيَ مَعَ ذَلِكَ فِي غَايَةٍ مِنَ الْقُوَّةِ تَقْلَعُ الشَّجَرَ وَتُخَرِّبُ الْبُنْيَانَ الْعَظِيمِ وَهِيَ مَعَ ذَلِكَ حَيَاةُ الْوُجُودِ. In spite of this, the air and the wind and the oxygen is life-saving. We all need this oxygen to survive. If there was no oxygen, no wind, no movement, then we would all die. Every zi ruh, soul, one with soul would die. And everything on the earth would become full of stench and badbu. Because if you lock one room, there's no air passing through, what happens? There's smell in there. If we lock this room, we don't have any fresh air inside, don't open windows, then there will be badbu and smell in here. So oxygen and air and movement of air is needed for our survival. So we need it, but if the speed of that goes a little bit over, then it becomes a source of destruction as well. So wind is something, a large creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which Allah mentions. And finally, وَالسَّحَابِ الْمُسَخَّرِ بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The eighth sign of Allah's qudrat is the clouds which are subjected and suspended between the heavens and the earth. Meaning they are in the mid-air, laden with millions of tons of water. They are heavy. You know, water is heavy, water has weight in it. एक बॉटल पानी भरी हो, 5 लीटर का वो ड्रम उठाना हो तो हाथ दुख जाएगा थोड़ी देर में. 10 लीटर हो तो और प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. अब ये clouds, they are laden with millions of tons of water and they take that water to wherever Allah commands. This is Allah's qudrat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is controlling those clouds high above the heavens. This is why Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُرْسِلُ الرِّيَاحَ بُشْرًا بَيْنَ يَدَيْ رَحْمَتِهِ حَتَّى إِذَا أَقَلَّتْ سَحَابًا ثِقَالًا سُقْنَاهُ لِبَلَدٍ مَيِّتٍ فأنزلنا به الماء فأخرجنا به من كل الثمرات كذلك نخرج الموتى لعلكم تذكرون. It is Allah who sends the winds ahead of His mercy to make people happy. And then when the winds carry the heavy clouds, we lead those clouds towards some dry piece of land where we send the rain down, extracting by its medium all types of fruits. In the same way, we will cause the dead to rise up so that you may take heed. So, this is the clouds which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has subjected between the heavens and the earth. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives shade to people through the clouds. Like Bani Israel in the valley of Tih, they were feeling really hot. Musa alayhi salam made dua. Allah sent clouds and the clouds give them shade. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, many times clouds would follow him when he is traveling and give him shade whilst he is traveling. So clouds are a ni'mat and blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah mentions this ni'mat. Then the clouds bring rain, and the rain falls in small droplets. They don't shower the water altogether. सारा पानी एक साथ नीचे डाल दे तो मर जाएंगे. हमारे घरों के रूफ और छत वगैरह टूट जाएंगी, गाड़ी की विंडस्क्रीन फूट जाएगी. Sometimes some hailstones Allah sends down, they cause devastation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the clouds and then drops the rain with small drops so we can survive. This is Allah's qudrat. Mufassirin say sahab is from sahaba. Sahaba yashubu means to pull, to drag. So because it's pulled from one place to the other, that's why it's called sahab. And in these 8 phenomenons are signs of Allah's qudrat and power for people who reflect, who ponder, who have intellect, who want to understand things. This ayat includes astronomy, astrology, zoology, and I don't know what logy, this logy, that logy. Some people have written books of volumes just on this ayat, going into detail of everything and explaining. We've summarized this in 1 hour, but they've written large books just on this ayat to show the qudrat and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Hazrat Allama Shabir Ahmad Usmani rahmatullahi alayhi, but I'll conclude on his kalam and maybe a paragraph from Tafseer Majidi. Allama Usmani rahmatullahi alayhi writes, in the creation of the heavens so high, stupendous and columnless, and the earth so wide and rocky, in the change of the night and day, in the sailing of the boats and ships, in the raining of waters from the sky, making earth verdant and productive, in the biological and atmospheric phenomenon are ample and lofty signs of divine oneness, divine power, divine providence, divine wisdom, and divine mercy for those who are wise and preponderant. Then Hazrat mentions the 3 types of Tawheed mentioned over here. Hazrat says in Tafsir Usmani as a note that there are 3 types of Tawheed mentioned here. Tawheed-e-Zat was proven through وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ, that Allah in His existence is one. Number 2, Tawheed-e-Sifat is proven through Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, that He alone is the compassionate and the most merciful. And Tawheed-e-Af'al, Tawheed of Af'al, actions, divine actions. So one is Tawheed-e-Zat, meaning unity of divine self. Second is Tawheed-e-Sifat, unity of divine attributes. And third is Tawheed-e-Af'al, unity of divine actions is proven through this verse, inna fi khalqis samawati wal ardi wa ikhtilafil layli wan nahar. So Tawheed is Zat, Tawheed is Sifat, Tawheed is Af'al. All three Tawheeds proven over here. La ilaha illahu, Tawheed is Zat. Rahman is Rahim, Tawheed is Sifat. And inna fi khalqis samawati la ayatin liqawmin yaqilun, Tawheed is Af'al. He alone does everything. Nobody has the ability to do anything from these eight things. He does it, so he deserves your worship. He is the one and alone. And over here, Hazrat Maulana Abdul Majid Riyabadi Rahmatullah alayhi writes over here, this is monotheism par excellence and not mere monolatry. Verses like the above are meant to emphasize the fact that only one God exists, not that one God is to be worshipped to the exclusion of other gods. So, ilahukum ilahu wahid, one God exists only, no other gods. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, He alone and none other is perfect in attributes of compassion. And Rahim, He alone and none other is perfect in the attributes of mercy. And then in the fi khalqis samawat, the sky and earth, night and day are all created beings, but very frequently have been personified and worshipped as deities by some people. Animals, dabbatun literally means anything that walks or creeps or crawls upon the earth. And then finally, لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ, signs of His unity, might and wisdom. And then Hazrat writes, it is precisely such phenomena of nature from which have emerged a major part of gods of polytheism. These grand and beautiful objects of nature, striking awe and wonder and exciting admiration in the human mind, are in fact but so many evidences of the unique handiwork of the Creator. And it is absolutely foolish to adore and worship a heaven god, an earth god, a sun god, a moon god, a rain god, a wind god, and the like. All such various deities of polytheistic nations are described at length by the writers on sociology and anthropology. See, for examples, PC 11 247 304 ilakhiri. The Holy Quran leads from the study of nature to the contemplation of the author of the nature. Beautiful. The Holy Quran leads from the nature to the author of that nature. Allama Shabir Ahmad Usmani Rahmatullahi alayhi was once asked that, Hazrat, scientists have gone to the moon, and what have you ulama done? You ulama are just purane wahi usme lage hue daqiyanusi in your old ancient things. You are not doing any research or anything. Hazrat said, let me give you an example. He said, this, person was invited to the king's palace, or a group of people were invited to a king's palace. They all go and they admire how beautiful palace, how it's massive, large, expanded with all hallways and decoration and beautiful ceiling and everything that is, perfectly in place, in order, how clean and nice and neat it is. Now, there are two types of people in the group. One people are looking at everything and taking some ideas from there. I can make this like this in my house as well, in my mansion. This carpet is nice, this color is nice, this chandelier is nice, these walls, this decorating style and design is nice. And the other people are looking around and admiring those who made it, the architects, the masons, the decorators, the painters, and they think, wow, these people had beautiful minds, and look at the way they've worked wonders around here. So anybody would say that the first group are like thieves. They're trying to steal ideas from there. And the second group are amazed, surprised, marveling at the way everything has been made. They said, this is the example of the scientists and the ulama. Scientists go around looking at the sun and the moon how we can benefit from the sun, what we can get from there, from sunlight, moonlight, solar power system, this system, that system. Good, is beneficial. But the ulama look at the whole universe and they take the dalil from there for the creator. They are amazed at the way he's created. Every little thing guides them to the wonderful nature and the power and the qudrat and the wisdom and the hikmat of the creator. Ajib, amazing. Every little thing directs them towards the creator. Their mind is attached to the creator. So we also focus and we also study the universe and they also study, but their study is for their own purpose and gains. Our study is to get to the creator and the one who originated everything. That's the difference between the scientists and the ulama kiram. You tell me who is more rightly guided, the first or the second. You can have the answer for yourself. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Allahumma lakal hamdu wa lakal shukru. Allahumma la nuhsi thanan alayk anta kama athnayta ala nafsik. Allahumma anta Allah, la ilaha illa anta, anta al-ghani ونحن الفقراء إليك، أنت القوي ونحن الضعفاء إليك. اللهم أنت ربنا لا إله إلا أنت، خلقتنا ونحن عبادك ونحن بنو عبادك بنو إمائك، نواصينا بيدك، ماض فينا حكمك، عدل فينا قضاؤك. نسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا وكروبنا يا رب العالمين يا أرحم الراحمين. महाज अपने फजल व करम से हम सब की मगफिरत फरमा लीजिए, पूरी उम्मत की मगफिरत फरमा लीजिए। परवरदिगार आलम, आप बहुत मेहरबान हैं, आप जो चाहते हैं कर गुजरते हैं, आप फ़आलुल लिमा युरीद हैं। सारी दुनिया आपने बनाई है, आसमान, ज़मीन, चांद, सूरज, सितारे सब आपकी मखलूक हैं। आपने ही सब कुछ बनाया है। हम आप पर ईमान रखते हैं, आपकी तौहीद का इकरार करते हैं, तौहीद ज़ात, तौहीद सिफ़ात, तौहीद अफ़आल का हम इकरार करते हैं। हमें इस तौहीद पर मरते दम तक कायम रखिए, शिर्क से बचाइए, शिर्क फिल ज़ात से भी बचाइए, शिर्क फिल सिफ़ात से भी बचाइए, शिर्क फिल अफ़आल से भी हमारी हिफाजत फरमाइए। और या अल्लाह हर वक्त आपकी तरफ मुतवज्जह रहने की तौफीक अता फरमाइए। आपका ध्यान, आपका इस्तिहज़ार, आपका खौफ नसीब फरमाइए। तक़वा, तहारत, परहेज़गारी, इखलास, लिल्लाही सब्र, शुक्र, रिज़ा, तस्लीम, तवक्कुल वाली ज़िंदगी नसीब फरमाइए। हमारी कोताहियाँ, कमज़ोरियाँ, सुस्तियाँ, गफलतें माफ़ फरमाइए, हमारी ख़ताओं से दरगुज़र फरमाइए। परवरदिगार आलम, हमारी सारी ज़रूरतें पूरी फरमाइए, हमारे बीमारों को शिफा अता फरमाइए, मरहूमीन की मग़फ़िरत फरमाइए। अभी न्यूज़ आया हाजी बोस्तान साहब जूसबरी मरकज़ पर इंतकाल कर गए, उनकी मग़फ़िरत फरमाइए, गरीक़ रहमत फरमाइए, दर्जात बुलंद फरमाइए। और या अल्लाह हम सबको भी अपने अपने वक्त पर हुस्न खातिमा नसीब फरमाइए। मरकज़ वालों को नेमुल बदल नसीब फरमाइए, उनकी खिदमत कबूल फरमाइए। या अल्लाह हम सबको आपके दीन की खिदमत खुलूस के साथ जम कर करने की तौफ़ीक़ नसीब फरमाइए। परवरदिगार आलम, अल्लाह जो बहुत से साथियों ने दुआ के लिए कहा है, बाज़ दोस्त बेचारे इमिग्रेशन के मसले में उनका मसला हल फरमा दीजिए, हिफाजत फरमाइए। बाज़ दोस्त बेचारे शादी के प्रॉब्लम में हैं, उनकी शादी के लिए अच्छा रिश्ता भी नसीब फरमाइए। या अल्लाह बाज़ मुकद्दमात में माखूज़ हैं, उन मुकद्दमात में उनकी मदद फरमाइए। पुलिस के शर से बचाइए, जज के शर से बचाइए, हासिदों के हसद और शरीरों की शरारत और खबीसों की खबासत और बदमाशों की गुंडागर्दी से उनकी हिफाजत फरमाइए। बाज़ बेचारे जेल में महबूस हैं, वहाँ से आफियत के साथ रहाई और छुटकारा नसीब फरमाइए। पूरे आलम इस्लाम पर रहम फरमाइए, हरमैन शरीफैन की हिफाजत फरमाइए, मस्जिद अक़सा की हिफाजत फरमाइए। दुनिया भर की तमाम मसाजिद, मदारिस, मराकिज़ तबलीगिया, खनक़ाहों, उलमा, सुलहा, मशाइख़ुल्लाह की हिफाजत फरमाइए। हर मोमिन मुस्लिम की जान माल इज़्ज़त अब्रो औलाद की हिफाजत फरमाइए। ये दोस्त अब आप बड़ी मोहब्बत से दर्स कुरान में बैठे हैं, सुनते रहे। या अल्लाह इनका सुनना कबूल फरमाइए। कुरान पाक के उलूम से, कुरान पाक के अनवार से हमारे और उनके सीनों को मुनव्वर और रोशन फरमाइए। कुरान पाक को पढ़ने, समझने, उस पर अमल करने, उसकी नश्र व इशाअत करने की तौफीक नसीब फरमाइए। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम। सल्लल्लाहु व सल्लिम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिहि अजमईन बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन। अल्लाह